How to make sure you can have Indian food at your wedding in Italy? Hello everyone, I'm Svetlana from Best Indian Weddings Italy, the only wedding planning agency in Italy specialized in Indian weddings. Every day I help Indian brides and grooms-to-be realize their authentic Indian celebrations in the most beautiful country in the world. I'm running this series of videos called SOS Indian Weddings in Italy with useful tips and advice that you won't find anywhere else. And if you're looking to host your Indian destination wedding in Italy, then please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to always keep updated with the new videos every week. The topic of this week is how to make sure you can have Indian food at your wedding in Italy. Indian food is always an important part of any Indian wedding, and even if you're having a destination wedding in Italy, renowned all over the world for its delicious Mediterranean cuisine, you definitely can't miss out on traditional dishes, especially after the religious ceremony, as tradition dictates. And then your guest would likely expect that you offer Indian dishes for some of the meals. And it's also quite common for Indian weddings that people then talk about the food and how it was, especially the elderly. So I imagine you would want to avoid such a headache. Unfortunately, when Indian couples approach a destination wedding in Italy, they often don't put enough attention to the food aspect from the beginning. They often take it for granted that they can have Indian food at their wedding in Italy. After all, it's quite easy in the UK. There are plenty of Indian food providers, and it may seem strange that in another country it could be not as easy as you thought. And then many Indian weddings have been held in Italy until now, so you would surely be able to manage this food aspect as those couples did, you may think. So you leave this aspect behind and try to choose the location and the venue first. Don't misunderstand me, I always say that the venue is the first to be sorted. However, it's important to make sure that you can have Indian food at that venue. It's not unheard of that Indian couples looking to get married in Italy are blown away by the beauty of the places they see and come to forget the rest of the details for the wedding. Often the venue's managers tend to not mention all the other important aspects. They only bring out all the pretty things, directing your attention to the beautiful panoramic view or the breathtaking look over the sea, making you overlook everything else. But just a pretty venue is not enough. You want to have every detail taken care of, and food is one of them. So let's see together what to check out before confirming with the venue. First of all, you must know that there are two different kinds of wedding venues that you could potentially consider for your wedding in Italy. They have different approach to weddings and different specifics, and the most important difference concerns exactly the food. So, what are these two types of venues that you may consider for your Indian wedding in Italy? Pure wedding venues and venues with in-house cooking brigade, and I'll explain the difference. Pure wedding venues only rent the spaces. They don't provide any service, and especially they don't provide food because they don't have an in-house catering company nor a restaurant. With such venues, you would need to hire a catering company separately, and of course you would pay two different quotes, one to the venue and one to the food provider. This combination will likely cost you more, but it offers you different choices of food options, and I'll show you all the pros and cons soon. And then there are other venues which do provide food because they do have on-site restaurants or in-house catering companies. These kind of venues are mostly common among the hotels and resorts, even if not all the hotels are able to provide food for large parties. And especially with such venues, you don't have to pay two different quotes. but just one, which includes both spaces and food. Of course, this option will likely cost you less. However, it also has pros and cons that I'm going to unveil so that you can choose the option that works better for you and your Indian wedding in Italy. As I said, the second option usually has lower cost than the first one, and this is a big pro. These venues would likely have a large and well-equipped kitchen, a fixed cooking brigade working there who perfectly knows all the logistics of that venue and is used to deliver meals for large parties every day. And this is another big pro. Italians are very picky about food, and venues of a certain level are always meticulous about it. They have good chefs who can guarantee a true food experience to their clients. However, we are speaking about Indian food, and the question arises, would the Italian chefs of the venue be able to prepare Indian dishes? Can they ensure the quality and authenticity of Indian food? Are you going to be guaranteed the traditional Indian food that you expect to have for your wedding? Oftentimes, Italian chefs are willing to learn Indian recipes to please you and will try to cook the dishes you ask. And sometimes the result is quite good. But what if you don't like the food? Indian cuisine is so rich and so various, and the same dish can be cooked in different ways depending on your background. Punjabi, Gujarati, South Indian cuisine. There are so many varieties of Indian cuisine, and you surely expect the food to be cooked the way you like it. So, what can be done if you aren't happy with the food cooked by the venue chef? The main cons of such venues is that they aren't likely willing to accept external cooking brigades in their kitchen. And if you're considering to bring your caterer to a venue with an in-house restaurant or catering company, you most likely wouldn't be allowed to. In rare cases, couples were allowed, but were charged for the loss of earning, and that amount was almost the same as if the food was provided by the venue's brigade. Please don't despair, there is a solution. In my experience, we have managed to provide Indian food even in such venues. We did it with the help of our team Indian chef. And you also can manage it if your chef is experienced in cooking for large parties, is willing to work in team with the local brigade, has an Italian license to cook in public facilities, and is fluent in Italian. Of course, you would need to pay extra for the chef's fee, but it doesn't usually impact the overall price too much, and it allows you to have a number of Indian dishes at a venue with in-house cooking brigade. Okay, and what about pure wedding venues that I mentioned previously? One of the cons of going with these venues is the cost, because you would likely pay a high price just for renting out the spaces, and another one to the food provider. Also, such venues don't often have large professional kitchens on site. Sometimes they don't have any kitchen at all, and the catering company needs to bring their mobile kitchen or arrange themselves in a small space. And if they forget something in their headquarters, that can be an issue. On the other hand, you can choose a catering company that you like most. And you can choose an Indian company or an Italian company which has Indian chefs in their team, or even bring a company from the UK. So a big pro is that you have choice of the food suppliers and can go with the one which works better for you and your wedding. However, it's important that you carefully choose your food supplier. Again, don't take things for granted. You're in a foreign country where things work differently than in yours. I have prepared a long video where I go deeply in details about the Indian food providers in Italy. And if you care about Indian food at your wedding in Italy and don't want to give it up, then please go to the dedicated page and check this video out. I've put the link for you in the description. And lastly, speaking about pure wedding venues, you must know that sometimes they have a list of exclusive food providers they work with, and no other company is allowed to cook at that venue. This is a very important aspect to verify straight away before confirming with a venue to make sure you can have Indian food at that venue. That's more common with luxury venues, however, it's better to double check with any venue. This way you don't risk to find that out only after the contracts are signed and when there is no way of getting the money of the deposit back. So please don't make rushed choices if you want to be sure to have Indian food at your destination wedding in Italy. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video that I hope can truly help you with planning your amazing Indian wedding in Italy. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my channel, follow Best Indian Weddings Italy on Facebook and Instagram, comment in the post, and I will be happy to answer. See you next week!